Okay, so imagine this, a military campaign that achieves tactical victories but leaves everyone questioning if it was worth the cost. That's where we're starting today.
And from there, we'll move to the NBA draft, where some teams made genius moves while others left us scratching our heads. Finally, we'll dive into a troubling story about missing police records in Israel.
Welcome to DeActa Daily Digest. I'm Joseph.
And I'm Juniper. Here are today's top stories.
Let's start with Israel's military operations in southern Lebanon. After Hezbollah's attacks on March 2nd, Israel launched a forceful campaign aimed at reducing Hezbollah's capabilities and pushing them northward. The question now is whether the tactical gains justify the political and human costs. What stood out to me most was how the article framed the dilemma after the April 7th ceasefire.
Right? Because even though the ceasefire was in place, the IDF continued operations in areas where they were already deployed. They justified this by saying they needed to sustain pressure on Hezbollah and destroy remaining capabilities. But it's unclear if these actions delivered the kind of strategic leverage they were hoping for.
Exactly. The IDF achieved some clear battlefield successes. Hundreds of Hezbollah fighters killed, weapons caches destroyed, and advances into key territories like Wadi Saluki. But these are tactical wins. The broader strategic goals like nudging Lebanon toward normalization or significantly weakening Hezbollah seem far from realized.
And that's where the political costs come in. Critics inside Israel argue that domestic politics played a big role in the decision to continue operations. There's this idea that the government needed to project strength, especially after the October 7 attacks. But at what point does that need for toughness overshadow more pragmatic decision-making?
That's a great question. And then there's the international dimension. The new U.S.-Iran Framework Agreement has added another layer of complexity. Washington's expectations are clear: limited outcomes in Lebanon, with the focus on pressuring Iran on other fronts. It's like Israel is stuck between a rock and a hard place.
And the risks of escalation are very real. The article mentioned an operation in Tibnan where Israeli forces surrounded Hezbollah fighters in an underground lair. That led to a heavy Hezbollah retaliation, a 50 rocket volley, and a spike in IDF casualties. It's a stark reminder of how quickly things can spiral out of control.
And yet, Israeli defense officials are adamant about not abandoning southern Lebanon without extracting concrete concessions or guarantees. They're also keeping the option of returning to strikes if Hezbollah tries to reconstitute its arsenal. But the question remains, are these incremental gains worth the cost?
It's a tough call. The article's conclusion really drives home the point that tactical damage to Hezbollah is undeniable, but if those wins can't be converted into broader strategic achievements, then what's the point? It's a sobering reminder of the complexities of modern warfare.
Speaking of complex decisions, let's pivot to the 2026 NBA draft. This was a whirlwind, wasn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Draft grades are always a hot topic, and this year was no exception. The article broke down the teams into tiers, from A-level classes to those with more questionable choices. Let's start with the winners. The Memphis Grizzlies really stood out to me.
Totally. They got an A-plus grade, and for good reason. Drafting Cameron Boozer at number 3 was a slam dunk. He's a high-upside talent who fits perfectly into the Grizzlies system. And then there's Richie Saunders at number 32, a movement shooter who adds defensive value. Plus, they made some savvy trades, like acquiring Isaiah Stewart for minimal cost.
The Sacramento Kings were another standout. Landing Darius Akuf Jr. at number 7 was a major win. He's a lead guard prospect with the potential to develop into a primary creator. And then they added Alex Caraban and Emmanuel Sharp, both of whom fit their roster needs perfectly. It's clear they were prioritizing culture and balance.
And we can't forget about the Washington Wizards. They had the number 1 pick and chose A.J. DeBansa, who seems like a perfect fit for their weaknesses. Adding Felix Okpara later in the draft was just icing on the cake. It's like they were saying, let's address our issues head on and build a solid foundation.
On the flip side, there were some teams that left me scratching my head. The New York Knicks, for example. Trading away higher picks for a package of late picks and future seconds? It feels like they prioritize salary flexibility over immediate roster improvement. That's a risky move. especially in a league where talent acquisition is everything.
Agreed. And then you have teams like the Cleveland Cavaliers and Denver Nuggets, who made some questionable choices in the second round. It's not that their picks were bad per se, but they seem to miss opportunities to address more pressing needs. It's a reminder that even a single draft decision can have ripple effects for years to come.
What I love about the NBA draft is how it reflects the broader dynamics of team building. Some teams are clearly playing the long game, while others are focused on immediate impact. Well, it's a delicate balance, and not every front office gets it right.
Absolutely. And speaking of decisions with long-term consequences, let's dive into the third article, the deletion of police records related to the October 7th Nova Music Festival. This story is just, wow. Where do we even begin?
It's a bombshell, no doubt about it. The fact that police records were removed from the system months after the festival, and during a time of heightened scrutiny, is deeply troubling. It raises so many questions about accountability and transparency.
And the timing is so suspicious. According to the report, the deletions happened in January 2024, just a few months after the festival and the outbreak of the Gaza war. It's hard not to wonder if this was an attempt to cover something up.
Especially when you consider what those records contained. They included critical documents like security arrangements and event requirements. Losing that kind of information isn't just inconvenient, it's potentially damaging to any investigation or public inquiry into what happened.
The police's response didn't do much to ease concerns either. Their statement felt more like a defense of their actions during the festival rather than an explanation for the missing records. It's almost as if they're deflecting blame rather than addressing the core issue.
This story is a stark reminder of how crucial institutional accountability is. When records disappear, it undermines not just the investigation, but also public confidence in the system. And in a region already fraught with tension, that's the last thing anyone needs.
It's a heavy note to end on, but one worth reflecting on. These three stories, military strategy, sports decisions, and missing records, might seem unrelated at first glance, but they all share a common thread: the importance of making thoughtful, deliberate choices in the face of pressure.
Well said. Whether it's a nation navigating geopolitical challenges, a basketball team building its roster, or a police force managing its records, the decisions we make today can echo far into the future. It's a powerful reminder to approach every choice with care.
And with that, I think we've covered a lot of ground. Until next time.
Until next time.